Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, 8 o'clock Central, to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. Recently, we had talked about the Affinity strategy, the campaign to go out to key influencers, such as churches, chambers, business organizations, and others, to leverage the relationships that they have with small businesses, whereby they share in the revenue and they help create access to their membership or their sphere of influence. So we've talked about that. We've had a number of you engage in that, which is great. We're off to a great start. Today, I wanted to go ahead and show you the template of the Affinity proposal that we will create. So no cost to you. We put together personalized proposals that then you can deliver to the organization. By you facilitating that, then you, as a small business consultant, you're /state director, you're receiving overrides from the production of that group. So are we still helping individual entrepreneurs? Of course, but this is a way to reach a group of entrepreneurs. So the programming is the same, but leveraging the free funding proposal campaign, but it's the concept of working through groups rather than just hunting and pecking individuals. So let's go ahead and go through the proposal template, and then I think that'll help better explain what we're doing, how we're doing it, and we'll open it up for questions. How does that sound? So it's a one-pager, and we'll go through it all, of course, but it's a one-pager. And so, of course, the date will be appropriate. This was created yesterday. And so then it will have the contact information for the targeted organization. So the chamber, the church, the business organization. This will be their information. You'll provide it to us, and we'll put it in to this proposal template. So like, George Smith, Executive Director, ABC Chamber of Commerce, 123 Main Street, City, State, Zip. And then it'll address, again, the contact person. So each proposal will be personalized to the decision maker of the given organization, entity, etc. And you will determine, you'll find out who that person is. You'll need to provide that to us, and then we'll do the legwork to create this. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the content. We are a national nonprofit organization. And again, who is this written for? It's written for the recipient, the proposed affinity partner. So when you hear me reading this and we're going through this, this is not written for you. This is written to the prospective affiliate partner. Probably obvious, but just wanted to clarify that. All right, we are a national nonprofit organization that assists entrepreneurs in improving financial literacy and accessing capital to start or grow a business through alliances with chambers, business organizations, churches, and other key influencers. So what we're trying to do here in this first paragraph is clarify who we are and why we're reaching out to them, right? This alliance concept. Now, we leave this generic. So let's say that you've given us a chamber to prepare this for. It'll still read this way. Maybe it's a business organization, a church. The content here is standardized. What's edited is up here in the top. It also clarifies that we incorporate award-winning Money Smart for Small Business curriculum that was developed by the FDIC and the United States Small Business Administration. And that's why we have the ability to use their logo, because this is the curriculum that we use. Maybe you didn't know that, but we've used that curriculum for years. So now we've introduced who we are with a little credibility statement added. Now we're going to explain to them why we're reaching out to them. We propose to establish an affinity program with your organization to assist your membership through a three-prong offering. And then we're going to go through those three prongs, those three elements. The one weakness of this is, if you approached a church, which churches can be great for affinity partners, they might say, oh, well, I don't have members, I have a congregation. So we use this term membership in a rather loose sense, just meaning the sphere of influence that the given affinity partner has. But most people can infer that, so we're okay. So now let's get to the point of what we're offering, because we're looking to partner with them through our affinity program. Let's talk about what it is that we want to do. Three elements. Number one, as a new member benefit at no cost to the affinity partner nor its members, we will offer a free funding proposal for each member. In other words, member of the chamber or of the organization, to identify immediate sources of capital that they qualify for based upon their mitigating circumstances, with no hard inquiries, no minimum credit scores, and the flexibility to select the funding offers they desire. So let's break that down. So it's the free funding proposal that we're taking out, right? It's not different. We've just summarized it here. We don't want to have to refer them to the website and have them read a bunch of we want this other information. We want this one pager to contain enough information that we can get their interest and get a conversation going. Sorry, I keep hitting that. The terminology here, if this doesn't mean a lot to you, then that's my fault. And let's resolve this, because the concept of a member benefit is huge. So let's look at it two different ways. If you and I approach, we'll just say a chamber, and they adopt this, and this offering becomes a member benefit, then that means that every chamber member, this is one of the bullets on the list of why you should be a chamber member, is to get a free funding proposal. So it's an embedded element of the value proposition of being a member of that chamber, of that organization. Therefore, when we're doing any type of outreach to their directory, trying to get those small businesses engaged, that's the most powerful positioning we could have. So for example, Daphne's on here. So let's say that I'm calling Daphne because she's a member of the XYZ chamber, and we just secured a relationship with the XYZ chamber. So I'd call, ring, and Daphne would answer. I'd say, hey, Daphne, my name's Tom. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but the XYZ chamber recently added a new chamber benefit, and that provides a free funding proposal for you as an XYZ chamber member. What that means is we'll identify the immediate sources of capital that you qualify for based upon your circumstances. And of course, Daphne, there are no hard inquiries, no minimums, credit scores. And then you can pick from the offers that are presented. If you like multiple, you can select multiple. If you don't like any of them, you don't have to accept it. So hopefully you can see that this is valuable. It's not different than our free funding proposal. It's just a different campaign where we're going through key influencers. Make sense so far? So then we said it's a three-prong offering. We just covered number one. So number two is free and valuable financial literacy for participating members. This is embedded already into what we do. And if you don't realize that, again, that's probably my fault, not yours. But as we onboard each client after they have requested a free funding proposal, we plug them into this award-winning financial literacy curriculum that we use from the FDIC and SBA. So in fact, just so you know technically how it happens, when a client requests a free funding proposal, we send them the app, they complete the app, we run the numbers to get them funding offers, again, with no hard inquiries, no minimum credit scores, and they pick the offers they want. But then we go ahead and we plug them in automatically into the curriculum. And it's great. It's well, technically it's 5 modules. The first module is kind of an overview. We call it 27 mistakes. It's designed to help small business owners understand what it means to be credible in the eyes of lenders. And then there are the main 4 modules. The first module is on business planning, and we actually help them, which we'll talk about in a moment, how we help them. But module 1's on business plans. Module 2 is on financial reporting and so forth. So there's 4 modules. If you've not gone through those 4 modules, we should definitely get you to go through those. They're very, very good. And then that takes us to the third of the 3-prong offering. And so here we're now working with them to apply that new knowledge. So for example, they learned about in the second element about the importance of having financials, the importance of having a balance sheet and an income statement, for example. And so often, I just had a client call this morning. The client said, "Oh, no, Tom, you don't understand. This is a new start business. I don't have financials." Well, that's a problem. We need to create financials. We need to have a balance sheet and income statement if we're trying to go get a business loan. Now, if we just want a personal loan, we probably don't need that. Oh, and they'll say, "Oh, no, you don't understand. This is a new business. There's nothing on it." Well, entrepreneurs are smart. They know what's going on with their business, but we need to be able to convey the status of the business and the capability of the business to borrow the money. And so we can always help strengthen financials legally and ethically, but we have to have financials. And so my point is, they would have learned about the relevance of balance sheets and income statements. What are they? Why are they important? What do they look like? And then we help them apply that knowledge. So they have a loan package. So they have a business plan and the financial projections and so forth. And of course, as you know, we guarantee them a minimum of 100,000. This isn't too good to be true. It's not pie in the sky. It's we assess where they're at. We get them their initial round of funding. We help them build their financial literacy to the extent they want to get involved with that. They don't have to. And then we build out a lender compliant loan package that's strong enough to qualify for at least 100,000. It's very logical. It's a very easy to understand process. So that's the 3-prong offering. So let's step back. So if you were the executive director of a chamber or the lead pastor of a church or the president of a business organization, you would be evaluating, well, is this something that my members need? Do they need access to funding? Well, you and I both know most small business owners do need money to start or grow a business. Do they need improved financial literacy? Unfortunately, probably so. Our country is woefully inadequate in understanding how finances really work and what it takes to get funding. And then third is we help them apply all that so they do get the funding. So I think if you looked at this in the eyes of a prospective affinity partner, you'd say, damn, that's pretty strong. Now, at this point, they're going to be asking, well, how does the money work, right? What's this going to cost me as the affinity partner? What's this going to cost the participant? And how much money am I going to make from it? They may very well ask. So we're going to get to money now. So we clarify, as an affinity partner, your organization will receive 3% of the capital received by your membership. So they'll get the 3%, and then you're going to get the override. You're acting as what we would call a state director. So you're getting the override. So they're going to be getting at least 3,000 participating member, right? Because if it's 3%, guaranteed $100,000 capital raise, the chamber, the church, the organization's getting a minimum of 3,000, and you're getting a minimum of 1,000 because you're getting a 1-point override. You might say, well, 1 point, that doesn't sound like much, but think about it. Think about it. You go to a chamber, and let's just say it's a small chamber that has 100 members. Well, that's potentially, if everyone participates, and of course not everyone would, but potentially that's $300,000, right? For the chamber. That's probably more than their total annual budget by just adding this affinity. And then you're making a real easy $100,000. That's not bad for facilitating that deal. So we've introduced ourselves. We've let them know what we're wanting to do. We've clarified very succinctly what's in it for them. Now let's summarize with the benefits to them, because we know what the benefits are to the members. They're going to get free funding proposal with upfront offers. They're going to get improved financial literacy, and they're going to get help applying all that new knowledge to raise at least $100,000. So it's a clear win for the participant, the member, the business. Let's make sure that the affinity partner knows why it's a win for them. Number one, creates tremendous value for your members. This new member benefit can assist in member recruitment and retention. I can tell you a lot of chambers, for example, and again, this isn't only for chambers, but a lot of chambers are struggling with attracting new businesses and retaining businesses. That's their lifeblood. Not all chambers charge membership fees, but many do. So they need those typically they need those membership fees coming in to support the organization. Well, this is what we call a non-dues revenue stream. It's not based upon selling more memberships. It's in addition to membership revenue. But if the small businesses in the community of XYZ Chamber knew that they would have access to this, then more people would join the chamber and more people would retain membership. Second is it addresses a key issue. So it's relevant, right? Because this could be the best thing since sliced bread, but if it's not relevant to the small businesses that are within the sphere of influence of the affinity partner, it's not going to resonate. But this is providing access to capital and a proven, legitimate, and predictable methodology. It's a great opportunity to contribute to the economic development of your community as additional capital fuels business startups, job creations, and so forth. It's very easy to work together because that's going to be another big concern. So sure, my members need this, and sure, my organization could benefit from more money, but man, I'm busy. I don't have much time. And so we keep it really easy for the affinity partner. We just need them to help get the word out about the free funding proposals. Because just as you know, the free funding proposal is the gateway in to our access to capital program. Of course, there's no cost to collaborate. And again, it's an additional revenue stream as described above. So then we need to get to the call to action because we're going to keep this as a one-pager. So what's the call to action? Please contact me, not me, Tom, but you, Daniel, you, Daphne, you, Eddie, you, Jeanette, you, Lamonta, you, Lon, you, Terrence, you, Mr. Brown. And so it'll have your information here and your name, I should say, and your phone number here. So what we're trying to get them to do is to contact you as soon as possible to schedule a call or a meeting, answer any questions, and then plan the rollout. We can roll forward. We don't need to have an agreement with the organization. We certainly can create one, but what we've learned is sometimes they don't want complexity. And so this is the simple proposal, what we'll provide you for each organization that you submit to us. And it might be edited slightly, but it's going to be 99% this. And so then you would present it to the contact person. And by doing that, then you're getting the revenue override. So let's get to questions, comments, concerns. Daphne, again, you're the executive director of a chamber. She says she loves this in her post, but looking for questions, concerns. Again, we've got a big group on here. What are your thoughts? So this is designed for you to be able to develop relationships with groups rather than just individuals. And by working through that group, which we'll call an affinity partner, it will provide us the opportunity to work with lots of clients. So we'll develop the proposal. You'll provide us the contact information of the prospective organization, and then we'll clear it. So we'll check to see, is that organization already spoken for? If not, then we'll create a proposal We'll send it to you as a PDF. So it'll be all completed. It'll have your name on it, it'll have your phone number on it, and then it's ready for you to present to them. If that affinity partner implements, then they get paid and you get paid. So Timothy's asking about best case scenario and worst case scenario. So I like that approach. So best case scenario, the affinity partner says yes, and then we work with them to get some communication out to their sphere of influence. Well, how would that work? It depends upon their circumstances. Do they do calendars? Do they do newsletters? Do they have meetings? So we would work with them on an implementation plan, and we would provide the content to them to get out. So it's not a burden for you. But they already have ways that they're communicating. That's the benefit of an affinity program. We're not going to go in and ask them to do something different than what they've done. We just need to make sure that this content, especially encouraging their membership to get a free funding proposal, is part of that outreach. But we do not want to make it difficult for them. We don't want to require them to do things that they normally don't do, because they're less likely to do it. And so then clients come through the free funding proposal, and we take them through the process. The affinity partner gets paid and you get paid. So best case scenario from Timothy's question is the affinity partner actively promotes it and we get lots of enrollments. So that's the best case scenario. What's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is the affinity partner is not very effective in outreach. So then we would say, hey, don't worry, affinity partner. How about we pick up the slack? If you'll provide us the directory of your members, then we will reach out to them and we'll personally invite them to get involved. They're going to love that, right? Because that's another touch that shows that the chamber cares about them, generating more money into the chamber. And so now, instead of you asking us for a leads list of names and numbers, now you have the leads list, which is the active membership of the chamber, of the business organization, of the church, so forth. And you're able to reference that affinity partner's name in that call, because it is part of their offering. You can see how much more valuable that is. So it's not cold calling anymore. It's reaching out on behalf of XYZ Chamber to help each participant take advantage of their new member benefit, which starts with getting a free funding proposal. So it's semantics, but psychologically, it makes a huge difference, right? If you cold called 100 employers, and I cold called 100 employers, but the 100 that I cold call are all related to some affinity relationship that we've created, my success is going to be exponentially higher than yours, because the cold call is about a new member benefit that provides value to XYZ Chamber members. Hopefully that makes sense. And then, of course, you could play the passive role, which is just to allow the affinity partner to push it out to its members, or a more proactive role, which, in addition to what they're promoting, you're also reaching out, and that would be your call. Obviously, the more proactive we are, the more engagement we'll have. Sarah asked a different question, which is a good one, and so she's reading into this a little bit more strategically. So theoretically, so let's pick someone else here. We'll pick Lon. So let's say Lon brings on an affinity partner, and it's ABC Chamber, using a different acronym. It's ABC Chamber. So if Lon wanted to maximize his return, he or someone from his team, like Mr. Brown or someone else, would be involved with the chamber, right? So when they're having their monthly meetings, Lon or Mr. Brown or someone on their team is there to remind everyone that the chamber benefit is available, and to help people engage. And maybe Lon or Mr. Brown or someone on their team even wants to be on the chamber's board of directors or on different committees. So certainly if you wanted to take it to its highest degree of sophistication, you actually get actively engaged with the affinity partners when possible, but that's not required. Now, I've had some people say, well, this won't work for me. I'm not a member of a church. Well, we're not saying that you have to go join the church to offer this as affinity partner. I've had people say, well, this won't work for me. I don't know any chambers. Well, I mean, you can look up chambers of commerce on the internet so easily. That this is not based upon, do you have this warm list of chamber executives or business organization executives or church leaders. It's not that. You can identify these easily and then let us know, provide us this information. We'll make sure that the organization is not spoken for, not committed. And if it's open, then we'll create a proposal like this. We'll send the proposal to you. It'll obviously have your information on it. We're not going to send the proposal to the affinity partner. We're going to get it to you so you can present it. All right, William asked about organization, and that's true. We actually have a different organization that we use other than guaranteed funding, a different 501c3 nonprofit that we use for this agenda. It's not disclosed here, but that's true, William. So there's one change to this. Well, there's could be a couple changes, but we won't be presenting proposals under guaranteed funding, because they could end up going to the guaranteed funding website and they could get distracted. So we actually formed a separate nonprofit specifically for this campaign. And so it'll have its information on it, not guaranteed funding. Eddie asked, do we have this in Spanish? No, but you're more than welcome to translate it into Spanish if you'd like, Eddie. And we've had requests for Mandarin, Chinese, Korean, a number of other languages. And so if any of you want to translate it, you're certainly welcome to do so. All right, so let's summarize. Developing affinity partners is an optional way, but a good way to generate more volume. So instead of hunting and pecking individuals that might be looking for funding, we offer free funding proposals through strategic partners. What we've done today is we've reviewed, I think in a fair amount of detail, this one-page affinity proposal that we'll create for you. So you would let us know the organization that you want to work with, this information. We'll make sure it's clear. We'll create this with your information on it, and we'll send it to you, and then you present it to the organization. If the organization decides to participate, and of course, like anything, some will and some won't, but if they decide to participate, then they're getting paid the 3%, you're getting paid the 1 point override. The 1 point may not sound like much, but when you're generating significant volume, and you got to realize we're piggybacking off of their relationship, so it makes sense that they're making the 3%. Now, if you want to do something different than offering them 3%, you know, we can talk about some hybrids, but this is the norm. This is the way that it normally works. All right. Well, thank you all for your time. We will be back tomorrow morning. We will not meet on Thursday or Friday of this week, because we'll be enjoying an extended holiday weekend with 4th of July next week, and we won't meet Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week. So we'll have a week off of Zooms, but between now and then, we can certainly make sure that you're plugged in, successful. We want to make sure you have a very, very, very prosperous July as we finish June on a very strong note. Thanks, and we'll see you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.